Gilmar looks like a mad wizard. There's a wizard, Gilmar.
Yeah, Wizard Harry.
Wizard Harry.
Harry, yeah, Wizard.
What you doing? Well, you wizard Harry. It's like we just make fake audition tapes. What if we just did an episode where we just didn't post the episode? We just made clips of just like what, like of us auditioning for certain roles.
Audition tapes? I'll audition to be in fucking The Sopranos or something, even though that's over.
Hey, blokes.
That's Peaky Blinders. Oh, yeah, we could be Peaky Blinders. Oh, I pulled in Peaky Blinders. Oh, you look at who it is.
It's Is this Bucks County Batman?
Yeah, what's going on today that you're not here, Bucks County Batman?
Yeah, let's see what Bucks County Batman's all posting.
Seemed like
about.
just reposting Hezbollah that recently abused his cat.
2 hours ago.
That's cool.
He abused his cat.
Yeah, you didn't see that video?
No.
Yeah, he fucking hit the shit out of his cat a couple times on video and recorded it. Like, what are you doing abusing animals and recording it, bro?
Dude, beyond, but we forget that he's Dagestani, and they're technically Mongolians. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
But he's also
Genghis Khan.
He's also super Muslim, right? And I thought Muslims respected cats. I don't know.
Yeah, but his thing is like punching people in the face. So
he's just punching the cat as a bit. You think that's a bit, and they got taken too far out of context?
There's a language barrier there.
Him and the cat can't communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking. Man, we had a whole thing, man. We had costumes.
I don't know, dude. So whatever, dude. We still got costumes. Part of the costume didn't. It comes in. It's probably getting delivered right now.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of a blessing in disguise.
In a way, we can. I think we need sunglasses or some sort of like ocular gear.
Ocular gear.
We also need some knives.
Dude, we had knives.
Like a machete or something like that.
Yeah.
Like what if,
We got ninja stars.
Yeah,
throwing stars.
Throwing stars.
But that's
Is it shurikens?
shurikens? What's that?
I think that's what a ninja star is called. A shuriken.
Yeah, I wish we had knives too. That'd be cool. I got scissors.
Yeah, I think when we get the funds from the sponsors
Yeah.
to redo like our new studio,
Yeah.
we definitely need to get like a sword or like a musket. We should definitely have like an American flag, like 13 stars flag, and like a musket.
Yeah.
You like send those redcoats packing, just like a little plaque, like commemorating.
You know how there's usually a flag. The flag is on a pole.
Yeah.
We hang the flag off the musket, or is that disrespectful? I don't really know.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
British, dude.
Yeah.
Just wiped them up. They actually got the better of us for majority of the things. We had to get guerrilla warfare on it.
Yeah, but
It's in our blood. Fight dirty.
yeah, they're a bunch of losers though. Just saying.
A bunch of losers.
Yeah.
The British.
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah, dude. They invented slavery.
Yeah, losers.
Not actually invented it, but the moderns. Like that period of slavery.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe. Like, I don't know. You know how you have like the Jurassic period, then like prehistoric, and then like historic. Like you have all those eras. There's probably official titles for the generations, or I don't know what the word is. Like the time period, we'll say, of slavery. And the British, they were the heads of that.
Of that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Of the time where, as of 100 years ago.
For sure. Yeah. Everybody's always upset. It's the British.
It's the fucking British.
That's why their flag is like X marks the spot. It's these guys.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's why they eat beans and shit for breakfast.
Yeah, British, dude.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to England for the food.
No, absolutely not. Not known for their food.
No, you go for a gloomy day.
A gloomy day and maybe a stabbing.
A stabbing in the accent, yeah.
Yeah, because of that whole Nashville shooter situation. R.I.P. That was definitely a terrible situation.
Definitely.
Everybody was out posting like their anti-gun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got into a little tisk with an old comrade.
Interesting.
Somewhat of a comrade. Loose
Yeah.
description, I guess. And I was just like, yeah, man, like, we're going to make it about the guns. He's like, she had an automatic. And I was like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. It says it right here. CNN. Nah, semi-automatic, not fully auto. It's a whole different thing. So get your words right. It does matter. And he was like, well, you shouldn't just be able to buy guns. And I was like, well, like, but like, you guys, like you, and I literally prefaced him himself. You guys, you guys. You West Coasters don't use coasters. You know what I'm saying? But you can't make it about the guns. That is like a sidebar issue. Can't say there aren't flaws in that system. Not discounting that. But there are a lot of guns in our country.
Yeah.
Right? So if you said it was a gun problem, with the amount of guns we have in our country, theoretically, we should have a lot more of these situations happening. They should be happening almost all the time. Like, there's shootings every day, but there's not like, you know, top notch tragedy situations every day. It's like a mental health thing, in my opinion, and if we take away the guns, people are going to find other ways to get their dismay across. Like, these people are upset, whether or not it's logical. They're just like broken down people. So like, if you don't fix people, you're gonna take all the guns away, and then people are gonna be making like homemade bombs and shit, or driving their cars into places, and you're gonna have to like fortify every place with like a wall. We're gonna go back to medieval times. You're gonna be like, yeah, walls make sense, and we're gonna be like, wait a minute, you guys said walls didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
You just go back.
Everybody's gonna like. So I think when stuff like this happens, like, people are upset, rightfully so. But you know, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
But you know, that's why we train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, get some jits.
For shooter situations.
That's why you train jiu-jitsu. I fucking lift weights and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu is really not going to do a whole lot in an active shooter situation. Unless you catch them, like, with a jam or something.
Yeah.
You get a little frisky and, like, throw, like, a flying triangle onto someone. Very low likelihood of that ever happening.
But say you're in England and they got knives out there.
They got knives out there.
You'll be good. You'll be all right.
I don't know, like, depending upon the situation, I think in some instances it's better off to get shot rather than stabbed. Depending upon probably the caliber of bullet, how close you are. But like a slash, like, I don't know. Every now and then one of those videos will pop up in my like Instagram feed of like a self-defense situation where somebody like got a little frisky with somebody with a knife.
Yeah.
And it's always like the same thing. It's always like looking around for like 10 seconds and then realizing like, oh, I'm dead.
Oh, shit.
There's people like, oh, dude, like, oh, yeah, you just like started a fight at a mall for no reason and now you're bleeding to death.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes you kind of like, just, you know, when you're walking around, you're like, hey, I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah. Seeing people get stabbed is something else, man. That shit's crazy.
Yeah. No
like,
thanks.
Yeah, I was watching that show. Have you ever watched that show? I think it was called 60 Days In or 30 Days In.
60 Days In or whatever.
Is it 60 Days In?
I think it was 30 days in, but that one dude stayed like 90 days in.
Yeah, he did.
Voluntarily, and then it turned out he actually was a criminal.
Yeah, I was watching that show, and they showed some guy get fucking stabbed. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he got stabbed in the face, and oh, fuck.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not pleasant.
Yeah. But yeah, if you go to England, go for the accent and not the food.
Yeah, speaking of England and slavery, I heard a weird fact that I didn't previously, because it's not really a fact. It's more of like the conditions of our country. So when the Civil War was lighting up, we shall say, around that period, the South was like legitimately like the slavery from the North, because we were like governing the South in a lot of, like, pretty much all ways. Like, it wasn't just like an opinion. Like, the South was where all the, the industry, crops and stuff like that type of agriculture was, but the North held all like industry, like the mechanical side of things. Washington. And the South actually tried to get conflicts going in like Nicaragua and like Brazil and stuff like that, so they could get like a conflict, like a civil war or something happening. So like one side would start taking prisoners and thus create like a slave population for them to reboot the slave thing. Because the North at that time had said like no more, like we're no longer importing people into the United States in slavery. Like this isn't like, we're not going to be a slave empire. And the South was like, kind of want to be a slave empire. It seems like a good idea. And the whole country at that time was like pushing out to the West into like Texas and, going to the West Coast, and all like the red and the blue, like political sides were like trying to like push into those areas faster than each other. So the South had an incentive to like restart the slave trade, in their opinion, so that they could like send more people into those states and claim territory, because the population up in the North was like much denser. So like you could, the states were literally sending people out into like the prairie and like the Midwest with like, hey, yeah, here's a pickaxe, a shovel, a bag of gold, like good luck. Just to like take those territories and form the states. So like the South was literally so invested in keeping slavery going that they were literally in other countries back. We're talking like the 1800s period. Like travel wasn't fucking easy. Meddling in other people's shit wasn't easy. And maybe it was easier back then because like information didn't travel. Like who knows? We're not old like that, but
yeah.
They were literally meddling in other people's governments to keep like slavery going.
That's fucking crazy.
So they could expand into the other states.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And part of a lot of the reason why they wanted to keep slavery was so that they could like, they didn't have the population numbers to maintain what they were doing. So like, it just like the agricultural system just like was never going to work without slavery.
Shit.
And then like that same book was like explaining how like the country would have never grown in that period, like that pre-industrial like load up period. Like the country would have never prepared for that adequately if it wasn't like, they wouldn't have never have done it as fast without slavery.
Interesting.
So like it makes you think like, what would America look like today? Like we probably wouldn't have been ready for like, we wouldn't have like industrialized as fast. Which is insane. And then like I stopped thinking about it, and I was like, who the hell is thinking about this stuff? Somebody researched this shit and made this book I'm reading. Like I'm just like, what the hell? Yeah. So when people are like, the states' rights, like it was about states' rights, like you're full of shit. Like the South was literally like, they wanted slavery to be a part of their, like the North was like, no, we don't want to be known for, we're not trying to create a slave empire. The South was like, it doesn't seem so bad.
It was like, that's not what I wanted to.
Yeah, and then hundreds of years later, somebody made like a book about it.
When did that book publish?
I don't know. I guess that book, it probably came out in like the 2000s. There's probably like revisions of it. I don't know when the original person, but there's like crazy shit about like that period of time that like our education system completely glosses over. So there's like about like the 1619 project.
What's that?
Well, the 1619 project is like this new educational doctrine that's trying to get like kind of shoved on everybody. And the 1619 project basically is this idea that the country didn't really form in 1776. The country formed in 1619 when slaves were first brought over from Africa to the United States, right? And it's a very interesting, controversial theory or whatever.
Right.
But so I started reading like just different history around that time to get like super educated on like what popped off. Like I want to know like everything about the Civil War, basically, pre and post. And like we definitely brought people over from Africa. There are people that dispute that. I mean, there's people that dispute the Holocaust. Okay. But the 1619 project, like, it doesn't necessarily evaluate, like, there were already slaves in the United States prior to us bringing slaves to the United States. You had a lot of, like, wars that were fought in, like, the Caribbeans and things like in those territories, and, like, different, you know, population groups took prisoners and traded each other. So did the Native Americans, right? Very, like, this was like a fluid thing back then. It's like, you know, you guys fucked with us, found out, now we own you guys. Now, like, you just work for us. Like, you're just a part of us. We absorbed you. And in, like, different parts of, like, or different situations, rather, like, the slavery was, like, defined differently. Like, some of it was, like, the people were just like, all right, we fucking swallowed up your tribe. Now you're us. You're ours now. Like, we're going to keep you captive for a little bit, but eventually you're just a part of us. And then some of it was, like, the more, you know, Civil War, like, South type slavery, where it's like, now you work for us. Like, we beat you in war. And when I'm saying war, it's like these groups of people were very small. Like, you're not waging like these World War II style battles. Like, if you went to war with another group, you're talking like hundreds of people, maybe of thousands. Like, you're not into the tens of thousands or anything like that. Skirmishes. And so like a lot of these like these like 1619 and a lot of what we were educated in school it glosses over a lot of like the information about like it blames America and like the modern white man and all of that for a lot of these conditions, but they already like it wasn't, and I'm not saying it's okay or anything like that, but it's like kind of interesting to learn like all those little finer details and nuances. And like there were African or black, rather, Caribbeans or people in South America or in like the southern United States, like Florida, that were like wealthy back then. Like there was, I forget what her name was, but there was this one woman in like the Florida, like Caribbean area that was like, was a black lady, but she was like a queen. She was like incredibly wealthy. And like, I think there's value in talking about like I don't think there's value in saying that like an entire race was downtrodden. Be like, you guys had no shot, like speaking of like the Africans or whatever. It's like, no, like there were people in their culture that were like powerful and, you know, wealthy and all of this. And I think like putting those people at the top of the conversation, like said, like it's more powerful. Like I get like the victim saying, like the victim mentality, I guess. And it'd be like this whole like, well, I guess what, like after reading a lot about this stuff, it's like, wow, there's all these like really powerful people that we've never learned about that exemplify like, you know, like the culture and the power behind the culture, that it seems like it, like, I don't know if there's a conspiracy or whatever, but it seems like we're not taught about these people because it's like, it's better for us to learn that like the way we learned it, because it like creates this like constant conflict to what's going on. Like, I think it would be much more powerful to say, hey, like there was powerful people that were great, that were African, and then there was like the slaves, but there was also Native American slaves, and like slavery is like something that should be talked about as like, look, like as a whole, like this is a terrible industry that's existed and still to this day exists,
Mm-hmm.
and like amplify it, not as like one culture, like every like, because then it's like we're not talking about slavery in modern talk. Like now we're not like everybody wants to talk about like the past in slavery, but nobody wants to talk about like now in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel like learning about this stuff, it was really interesting. It's definitely something I'm definitely going to continue to learn about, because there's like all these like Caribbean cultures and tribes and things that like I guess we just don't have time to learn about in school.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I think that's very important to learn about, and to know that there was more before the time that we actually learned about. There was more before, like the 1900s and that type of slavery. And
Yeah, like did we amplify it?
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
It's fucked up.
and also just to learn that royalty isn't only from Europe. We had royalty, like you said, in the Caribbean, like in the South and all that. So I think that's very important to learn. I remember I was speaking to, it might have been my neighbor, and we were talking about food, and he asked me, how was I trained in school? And I was like, classical French, because that's kind of the normal thing you're taught. But it's interesting because he was like, yeah, that's probably normal for, I guess, the Western or the type of world we live in. But, traditional, I guess one of the first cuisines would have to be, somewhere in Africa or something like that. I'm like, that's interesting. How come we don't get taught African cuisine? We go straight to French, straight to Italian. But I think it might be, recency bias. It's what we know as to be the most
recency bias. That's
I don't know.
A good one.
Yeah, because it's like
I've never thought about something in the sense of recency bias, like your exposure to it. Like we're exposed to it because the French was in the United States more recently than, say an African Egyptian king,
mm-hmm.
But I don't know so the whole like trip down that Civil War kind of era thing started with the aliens, believe it or not. So I got it. Like I stay frequent. Like I keep going back and forth with like alien things because it exposes me to something, and I'm like, I gotta learn about this. And when Cortez came to the Americas, is basically like I started there and then kind of glossed over some stuff to it ended up like in like 1700s to like the 1500s.
Mm-hmm.
And what was interesting about the Cortez thing, when he came and like surrendered to the population that was in South America at the time, the wealth and like the magnitude of the civilization and the cleanliness of the streets, despite how many people were there, we're talking a huge civilization at the time, or millions of people. Like the people that came in to with the conquering force, like their journals and things like talk about how clean it was, how beautiful it was, like how all the things were magnificent, and the colors that they'd never seen before, and like the women and the people, and like we like then so like you have that, right? But then like in our culture growing up, it's like you don't want to be Mexican in like a non-Mexican place. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you're Mexican. Like it's like, but that area of the world at one point was they were the wealthiest people ever at one point, not too long ago.
Yeah.
And now we're looking down and be like, Venezuela can't get their shit together. You have all these territories that are fucking fighting all over the place. And like, we look down on those cultures as like, oh, those are like not so much anymore because America's going down the shitter. But like in the 90s and like probably early 2000s, like the culture kind of looked down on South America. I mean, we still kind of do today with this whole border, like this misunderstanding at the border. But like these cultures, like there's value in knowing like those people came from the wealthiest, possibly the wealthiest cultures ever to exist. Like they had technologies that are been forgotten. Like, and I think we as a people are very arrogant in how we look at our current condition. You know what I'm saying? Like we always think we have like the best.
Yeah, it's true.
But like, what if there was a superior best previously, and we like something like, and that's what started this whole like alien thing.
Yeah. How deep did you get into the alien rabbit hole?
I'm pretty deep right now.
I want to know more. Like,
I don't know if it's aliens or not.
It pertaining to what do you mean? Are you talking? Did you learn about aliens from the Egyptian time? Like what part of?
I've gone deep across like the whole thing now.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess what potential? So there was like the Younger Dryas theory. Do you know about this?
No, but I'm gonna.
So Younger Dryas is this event, this huge cataclysmic event.
Okay. I remember hearing about this.
It happened like, what did how many happen? 10,000 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, like 12, like roughly 13,000 around about years ago, which kind of corresponds with like the flood with the story of Noah's Ark. And there's a lot of other flood stories that occur in cultures all around the world. Native American culture, like all of these different religions and different groups all have like a similar story from that time about like this great event.
Right.
That flooded everything, flooded the shit out. And the theory is, and I may or may not, I'm not a scientist, so if I butcher some of this, whatever, was that this flood wiped out whatever was currently going on here in the globe. And roughly like maybe 5,000 to 12,000 people survived worldwide.
Damn.
And from that group, I might have got that number wrong. It was like that small of a number though. From that group, they repopulated.
Damn.
Yeah.
They were just going to town.
So there are things like the Egyptian temples or different pyramid type structures around the world that it's like, how was this built? Like current archaeological theories are that it was built with like chisel and hammer.
Right.
But if you look at chisel, like the Egyptian pyramids or whatever, if you look at how many bricks there are or how many obelisks, like large stones, there are making up like one of those pyramids, like based upon the way the theory is that they were set, you'd have to set like I forget how it was described in this one book, but it was, if you set 15 blocks a day, you wouldn't complete the pyramid for like 26,000 years or some number like that. Jeez. That definitely needs to get fact checked, but it was a number like that. It was just there's no way that this happened that way. And the foundation the pyramids sit on is even more powerful.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, so the YouTube channel that I started watching like recently covers a lot of stuff like this. I'll put it in the links. But there's stuff like that. Like you go down these things like the Egyptian pyramids, when you really study them, the one kind of seems like a power station. There's like these perfectly like square tubes that run through the buildings that kind of like connect to these like anode type things.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so there's like theories that there were giants. But basically before the Younger Dryas event, the water height, like the ocean, was significantly more, like there was way more coastline. So all of the civilizations, like you notice how we like live very close to the coasts.
Yeah.
All of the civilizations that would have been above water are now under the ocean.
Is this anything to do with Atlantis?
Yeah. And the whole Atlantis thing. And like all these cultures that were like vastly superior that potentially could have had another technology. Could you like imagine if you had like human beings and you put them on two different planets and you gave them the same beginning tools and then you separated them for like 1,000,000 years or 12,000 years or whatever, those people would evolve differently. They would implement those tools differently and grow. So like the whole theory is that like whatever civilization existed before this event had a technology that like we don't have. Like we have electricity and things like that. Like they could have had something which is like that. And like there's tons of like the traditional archaeologists just like to refute all of this stuff. But think about this. Like, what if I took this cell phone and went back 200 years? We're talking about thousands of years. Like, what if I went 200 years back and just like showed up with a phone? Like, I'd be a wizard.
Yeah.
Just everything I want at the end of my phone. Like, look at this technology we've created. Like, imagine if this is wild.
That is wild.
This is wild. Like,
everything is there.
Think about what a phone is. Like, I can call, like, my buddy is in Japan right now. I can text him and he can get a message seconds later and respond back to me.
You can see him.
He can literally send me. He can send me a dick pic. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. Like the most obscure things that we take for granted are wild.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what if we evolved even more wild before this?
Do you think if you went back 200 years with that cell phone, you think you'd have service? You probably wouldn't be able to do much with it other than...
Well, so like I have the Verizon network.
That shit works even 200 years in the past.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be crazy.
Well, my theory included service.
Yo, imagine taking a photo of them for the first time and they're like, what the fuck? That'd be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like think about like, dude, a funny one, the GBRS group. It's like they're like ex Green Berets and stuff that like do like military training. Mm-hmm. They had like a funny video that went out on one of their podcasts that were like, if you could go back your kit right now, like your body armor, like the gun you carry, like everything, like, and you could fight in any conflict, like where would you go back to? And he's like, oh, like they were like, ooh. And they all concluded they would go back to World War II. They're like, he's like, dude, killing Nazis? I'd like to kill some. He's like Inglourious Bastards. Like you watch that movie and you're like, God damn, I'd like to kill some Nazis.
Yeah, that's such a good movie.
It's a shame there's no Nazis left. He's like, ooh, be careful with that.
I feel like a lot of wars would have been hard to even combat, because you think about even back in the days when there was bow and arrow, even those people were very fucking highly skilled. You know,
I think you're right. There's times you can't say going back with today's weaponry is like a foolproof thing.
Yeah. They're still highly skilled warriors. You know, these people are trained.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers shoot bow and arrows at arches that you can't even do, you know? It's strong as fuck.
I made a joke the other night at jiu-jitsu. We were training and I was like, all right, so basically like we were doing this like 30-second drill. So for like 30 seconds, you just had to like try and shoot like as many times as possible on your opponent. And your opponent had to like defend, and then you would switch. So, but like you're going hard, and like some of these boys aren't in shape, so it's like you got some gas going down. And so like before we got this drill, I knew it was going to happen. I was like, so basically we're just going to kamikaze into this shooting drill. And he's like, well, Evan's like, I don't know if you want to kamikaze. That might not be very effective. And I was like, and I didn't like, this is one of the times where I say something that ends up being funny that I had like no preparation for it. But I was like, I don't know about that. The kamikazes were pretty effective. The whole class lost it. Yeah. I looked at Tyler. I was like, "Was that?" And he's like, "Yeah, that was good. That was good." I was like, "I didn't mean to." That was sorry.
It just made sense.
I just completely threw the class like in a loop.
It made sense. What were
and I was like, "Nah, dude, they were pretty fucking sunk some ships.
They did. They had to do. Yeah. What fucking war would you go to?
If I could like load out like that,
and what weapon?
Yeah, I mean you'd have to be able to carry it. Yeah, like it's hard to say not World War II, like just like landing on the beaches or like dropping in through like some sketch ass airplane at night, and then like walking your way across Europe, just murking Nazis.
Yeah, with
no support.
That'd be
like
crazy.
A lot of those, the way they strategize battle, like the battle strategy back then was kind of like we didn't have the communication we had in the last 60 or 70 years. Like we had radios and stuff, but your group was like, hey, this is your mission. Go over here and just protect this bridge. We'll check in on you in 2 weeks.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And World War One was even worse. Like World War One, you were just starting to get aviation involved in the war. So like you would get dudes like flying in single prop like biplanes, just like dropping like grenades out of the fucking cockpit. Like they were flying that low where you could like if you had a gun from World War II, you could blast them down from it. Like it was these wars are just like we have no concept of like how brutal things can be and how amazing it is in America. Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of like these readings and stuff that I keep reading history and stuff like that because it makes you like everybody loves to view America through this like terrible telescope.
Yeah.
And there aren't many. Atlantis was pretty great.
Atlantis,
it's underwater now.
Yep.
So
gone.
Tough shit.
Yeah.
America is. There's no other place in the world that is like America. We are the least racist country I've ever been to.
Mm.
And you have things like you have countries where like you can't go like I can't go and move to like say Germany and then like in a generation be like, yeah, I'm German. But you can do that in America.
Mm-hmm.
Like your parents can move to America from South America and be American, even though they weren't born here.
No,
they're American.
Yeah, they're American citizens.
They fly in the flag, like they're having barbecues. 4th of July's fucking lit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you come to there's no other country in the world that you can go to and then be accepted that way.
It's so true.
There isn't. So when these like I get so mad and like that's why I stopped like using social media like how I used to because I would get so mad. I'd be like, you would look at these people and look, you haven't left the town you grew up in. Why are you online like spewing off how terrible America is?
Yeah, like
you have no idea. Like there are other countries that are amazing. Like I've never been to a country where I've been like, this place is terrible. Like there's aspects of them that you're like, ooh, wouldn't want to bring this one home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like there's places in the Middle East where like they still have kings in 2023 where you can get like murdered in the street. So
yeah, dude,
it's pretty freaking good here.
Yeah. You say, yeah, I was listening to an episode. I think Schultz was on Rogan recently.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that, I forgot her name, but it's the Asian woman that escaped North Korea.
Oh, she Naomi.
Something like that.
Naomi, it's probably Kim. Like it's probably Naomi Kim.
Yeah, something like that. And he was talking about how they have that joke about her because she has
the huge boobs.
Yeah. The heavies. Yeah. So they explained it to her, and they kept poking fun at her during the podcast, and she said, I've never
that's
had.
Right, because she was on Andrew Schultz's podcast.
Yeah, she was, and they made fun of her. They were not made fun of her, but they were joking with her, teasing her and shit. And she's, I've never had someone make fun of me in front of my face before. And she was like, man, freedom is great. And it's like, yeah, dude, we live in a country where freedom of speech is a thing. You go to, not every country, but there are some countries that you say something about, say, a government official or just even an athlete or something. And, that shit's not allowed.
No way.
Yeah, no fucking way.
One thing that, like, do you think that there will be an issue eventually, or do you think we're currently in an issue where, like, at one point in time it was acceptable to be, like, the deli meat counter guy and make a great living and, like, support your family and your wife stayed at home and take care of the kids? Like, now, like, because of college education, like, women are college educated. So, like, I think, there's a lot of studies that say, like, women are less likely to, like, bed down with men that didn't also go to college, right? So now everybody went to college that maybe shouldn't have. So, like, do you think that there's going to be, like, an issue where, like, people stop going to college and then we're going to have, like, this weird diversion where there are, like, girls that won't sleep with a dude because he didn't go to college, but even though he's more successful than the dude that went to college, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of what I see is going to happen.
Really, you think so? That's That's such
women dictate all of this stuff.
I think that's such a weird qualification to have, but to each their own. But I think if that becomes the new standard for men, it's
but you're in a very biased position. You're in a relationship that's very like, I don't know what the word I would use. Wholesome.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Is that a fair word to use? I don't know if that's the, like, sometimes I have a problem like using words for like what I actually think, but like your relationship is not traditional, and it's like it's supportive, also not in a traditional sense, which is like it's kind of cool from a modern perspective, but like you possibly don't evaluate the fact that like a lot of our culture is dictated by like what you have or can achieve. Like you guys like enjoy each other as people, and you're on a journey together. That's, some might say, a very healthy relationship. Yeah. But traditionally, like a woman, even like on a biological level, like they want protection so that they can have kids, like on a very like a very low level. So like it's natural for women to be like, okay, that guy went to college, like that's going to get a good job, like that's going to be support, that's going to be able to provide. But like that's what our culture has been taught. So would you, if you're a girl that grew up in like an environment like that, like you're not going to bring home a guy that went not to college, that has tattoos, but also owns a $5 million a year plumbing business. Like those people might not even cross. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is like you're going to have these cultural elites, financial elites, like industrial elites. Like we already have like tech, like we're going to have like this, like because of the gig economy. Like you can be successful now, like driving a car.
That's true.
If you do it well enough.
Yeah.
Like if you get an Uber, you start in a Corolla, and then 2 years later you're in an Escalade. Like you're doing pretty, like those rates are. So, but like is the woman that just went to college okay with going and marrying the guy who drives an Escalade for a living, even though he makes an amazing living?
Yeah, interesting.
And I think that's what's fueling this, like things like the 1619 Project, or like these political things, or like the Black Lives Matter. I know me and you talked about like 2 or so years ago that when the Black Lives Matter was at its peak power, I'm like, dude, this is a fucking scam. And I caught shit for it all the time. I'd be like, dude, this Black Lives Matter thing is like somebody is taking, like, this is financially fucked up. Like it's Black Lives Matter is a statement, and then there's Black Lives Matter as the charity, and the charity was corrupt as fuck. And it was like very visible to people that took a look at it, even from afar. And now all those people are in deep fucking shit. Yeah. Where'd the money go? We're talking billions of dollars just gone of people's money. Like not like there's celebrities and stuff that endorsed it, but like there's everyday people that donated, like that couldn't afford $20 but sent their $20. And then those people that were running it were doing the mansions and stuff. Yeah. So like you get these, like, back to my point is like you get these like small groups of people that are powerful, but then they don't intermingle with each other.
That's interesting. Yeah, so there might be, like you said, a divide of, not girls, but people want to be with people that went to college together. Other people might not be with those people, so they'll be with the people that didn't go to college but are successful together. And so
it might not even be a financial thing. Think about Anna, for instance. Yeah. Gets her doctorate in biology. She might want someone that values that as much as she does. Money might be like a byproduct. Like, I want a lawyer because like he might be fun. Like some people might be in it for the money. Some people might be in it for the accolades. Some people might be in it for like, oh, I want to marry the farmer whose family has the most cattle, because like, so these groups are separating because of the gig economy. Like we're all separating as even more so when the internet, like at one point could have brought us together. The internet like brought us together for a short period of time. And then like we all went to the normal tribalism that we have. Yeah. So what the internet is now is all these groups of people tribal fighting. Yeah. Over ideas.
Yeah. It's interesting how that, like we kind of regressed.
We regressed. Yeah. Have you talked to anybody that's dating right now? Like, do you know anybody that's single that like goes on dates?
Not really.
Dude, we got to get a fucking singles episode in here. The stories are insane.
Yeah.
Like I know someone that had sex during the corona thing, and the girl he had sex with, he was like dating, would make him wear his mask. And after 3 times of that, he was like, "Dude, I fucking can't. Like, this is the most silly thing ever. We're having sex. Like, I'm literally inside of you."
What the fuck?
So like, you have like these, like that you wouldn't have ever been exposed.
Yeah.
You would have been in your small town.
Yep. Yeah.
So everybody thinks something's wrong, but really all that's wrong is that like we're all together.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah, I guess it exposed more people to people that they would never like, really. And now it's fueling that divide a little more. It's like, I don't want to be around people like this now that I know what they're kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. I try to keep an open mind. I don't know.
That's why you're legit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to ever hate people or have people hate me. I try to understand where everyone comes from. So, yeah.
Is it ever exhausting for you to be aware like that?
Aware of what, like,
I find that like once I went through like that self-development, self-awareness, and like have an appreciation for the differences of people, I now find it exhausting when people spend energy like hating other people for their differences. I look at that as kind of like, okay, so if you could take the human hours spent doing that and put it towards something, like what could we solve?
Yeah.
And I get frustrated. I'm like, dude, like, or the media or especially politicians that keep the conversation going. It's like, you're not making anything better here. It's like, oh, we're going to talk about this, racially downtrodden individual every day. Like we're like we gotta get into a positive mindset and like get the vibe like on the positive track. Like they're only selling ad space by keeping all this negative shit going. And I think it's a personal choice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like it's not going to get better. But if you make your, I had a good quote for that I lost, but it might come back to me. Of being an individual, and like if you are a good individual, what that will do for the culture.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to like fix or make it better.
Yeah, make it better. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean,
it's already pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like Qatar built all their stadiums for the World Cup with slave labor. It's 2023. Bruh. Like documented migrants died. Like thousands of people died building those stadiums for us to play soccer and play a game and play sports on grass. And we're over here talking about how terrible America is.
Yeah.
It's like, let's talk about how great it is here and how,
And the thing is, they weren't even really allowed to talk about it too. They had to kind of keep it under wraps or else.
Qatar King, dude, you got to keep that.
Yeah, imagine if that was happening in America. No way.
I think we're banned from Qatar.
Yeah, fuck that place.
I think we're probably on the Qatar no enter list.
Yeah, no. Why the fuck do you want to get?
I've said they would definitely just like they'd be like nah.
I don't even think they're even playing soccer on those stadiums anymore. They were just built for the World Cup. I don't really think they have the teams to. I mean, I guess they do have teams, but
17 teams or something. 17 stadiums.
Yeah, it's like
I don't remember how many stadiums it was actually, but it was like that many.
Yeah, that shit was insane. I couldn't believe it, but.
And then you hear all these stories about like the migrant workers and like their passports have been stolen so they can't leave the country. Like all of these like things. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We had the World Cup here.
Did you see that one? See that one reporter that was killed?
Yeah.
That was crazy, man. And then I feel that nothing really came from that. That's the craziest thing about it. It's like, bro, it's an American reporter that was murdered and swept under the rug.
Not good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for the World Cup to be in America, though. That shit's going to be fire.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, what is that, 2026 or 2030? I think it's 2030.
Yeah, it's two away.
The 2 away, yeah. Dude, we're going to go to the Philly game?
It's North America.
Yeah.
It's not the United States.
Yeah, so there's going to be Mexico.
I don't know how they did that. There's not like a uniform sport, but I guess it's because like Qatar is such a small ass country and they had the whole World Cup there. Why are we sharing the World Cup with like 4 other countries?
Canada, Mexico, and that's it. We're just Canada and Mexico we're sharing it with, I believe.
Yeah, well.
It's north and central, I think. I don't think there's any games being played below Mexico.
No Cuba.
No Cuba. No Cuba.
Interesting.
It's going to be a game in Philly. We got to go.
Yeah, we'll go.
Dude.
We'll go. And we'll be ballers by then.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Dude, straight flex right now, future flex. Like we'll have like press passes.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet Ronaldo's son.
Yeah, you probably not. I don't know how we won't be that successful. No, yeah, we will.
Yeah, we will see.
We're gonna park on the sidewalk.
Dude, we're gonna get fucking
VIP
limos.
Parking. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, fucking valet Teslas.
We're gonna have a food truck that has like custom hot dogs come cater to.
Custom hot dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Relish, sauerkraut, all that shit.
Taco dogs, dude.
Oh shit, taco dogs.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a bird dog?
A bird dog?
Yeah, bro.
Like a dog that hunts birds?
No. It's
Speaking of bird dog, Rambo's in.
Oh shit. He's fine. But no, I went to one of the shittiest places you can go to, Buffalo Wild Wings, and they have, instead of a hot dog.
It checks out.
Yeah, it checks out. They have one of these things called the bird dog.
Yeah.
And it's basically a hot dog, but instead of hot dog, the beef frank, it's a fucking
chicken.
Yeah, it's fried chicken, bro.
It's a fried chicken hot dog?
Yeah.
So it's just fried chicken in the shape of a phallic object.
Correct. It's basically a chicken sandwich, but
yeah, it's a chicken.
They call it a bird dog.
It was dirty dogs, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking, the marketing team is crazy.
I want to know who's rolling chicken meat into like hot dog shapes.
I honestly think it's just a chicken tender.
And is that guy married to a girl that went to college?
Probably not.
Can the guy that rolls chicken into the shape of a hot dog and then gets it fried at Buffalo Wild Wings, can that guy score a girl that went to college? Like a lawyer.
A lawyer.
Not some community college.
No.
Like some Yale ass.
She went to Berkeley.
Yeah, but UC Berkeley.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great.
Bird dog, dude.
Yeah, fucking bird dog. That shit was all right.
Yeah, I mean, anything else popping off? We'll shed this skin.
Oh shit!
Record some commercials and then.
Yeah, just want to let you know if you guys see Bruce Wayne anywhere, let us know. We can't seem to find him.
Yeah, there's this character Bruce Wayne, codename Batman, Bucks County. He's doing pull-ups, push-ups, bench press, taking supplements, snorting pre-workout, making obscene videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be on the episode tonight. We were going to be ready here. We had villains ready for him.
Oh, for sure.
We're going to get him in one of these days, but Bucks County Batman's we're locked in.
Yeah, dude.
We're heat-seeking missiles right now, Batman.
Yeah, dude.
We're not, if we've got to, we'll go full TMZ and we'll get this episode done.
Yeah,
if we have to jog next to him, he's David Goggins, we'll find out where he is. And he's just running, playing basketball with his Batman helmet on. We'll just be like, Batman, there he is.
Yeah, we'll find the Batcave, dude. So
he said he lives roughly, and I'll beep this part out, how many minutes he lives. It's 45, you know?
Uh-huh.
I beeped it out, but you can see my hands.
It's not too bad.
So what I was thinking from our address. So what I was thinking about doing was just setting a map, what's 45 minutes around and a full circumference around this
what's the radius, yeah.
Set up a perimeter, and then just pay one of those those light machines that puts a projector up.
Yeah.
like actually like dude say he lives in like Ben Salem.
Uh-huh.
Go down there on a Friday night and set up a bat signal.
That'd be fun.
And then just make an Instagram video or like a YouTube video of us hanging out doing a podcast, like looking for Batman. And we're gonna make episodes and make a huge success out of the hunt. Like, where does he live?
Yeah,
we're gonna find, dude. That's the TMZ option.
Dude, we can do a whole episode on the road.
Yeah,
we can do it on the go.
We're set up that we could literally do the podcast from anywhere.
Yeah, looking for this guy.
Looking for him.
Yeah.
We might do a whole episode of us just like driving around and just asking people if they've seen him. Be like, you seen this guy?
Well, wearing the villain suits.
Yeah, villain suits, dude. You seen this guy?
Oh fuck, bro.
We got to get someone to film me and you walking around. Find someone, seriously though. We'll pay them.
Yeah, or we can do a vlog style. Up to us.
Yeah, let's do the vlog style.
Yeah, up to us, dude.
Yeah, you seen this guy?
We can put a GoPro on Rambo.
Literally, like right on top of my hand right here. If you're watching YouTube, we're looking for this guy.
Right there.
That's
this fucking guy.
This guy. Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, Bucks County Batman.
Yeah, Bat Mizzle. Where you at, bro?
Yeah, dude. Where's he staying?
Where the Batcave at,
Where's
bro?
he staying? I'm just saying, Bucks County is not a big place. How many people are in Bucks County?
It is a big place, though, is it not?
What's the population of Bucks County?
If he's a certain amount of minutes away from here, it's a pretty hefty thing.
45 minutes. 45-minute drive
for being in a county. That's pretty large. Mercer County, I don't know if I can get to from.
And we don't know. It's Batman. He's deceitful. He might have made some shit. He could live right down the road and just didn't want us to know where he lived.
You're right. He is being
this could
deceitful.
Be a scam.
It could be a scam.
All right, so we have 646,000 people living in Bucks County.
Damn.
All right.
Well,
we're gonna wrap it on that.
Yeah.
Conclude
the ep.
It's Gilmar.
Here.
Andrew. No Prisoners Podcast. This was us reporting on Batman, world situations. We got into some weird topics tonight.
Atlantis.
Yeah, this is the intro to the show and the outro.
Yeah.
This is the No Prisoners Podcast. On tonight's episode, we're going to get into the weeds, world history, aliens, slavery, Bucks County Batman. Coming for you.